Hey you! Are you a fan of working out? Is your self-worth dependent on how big your muscles are? Does your height start with a 5? Well, boy do we have the solution for you. Try Trenbolone acetate today. This quick and simple muscle maker only needs 3 easy steps. It's as simple as drawing up our proprietary blend of anabolic goodness, flicking off any residual air bubbles, choosing a large muscle to inject, and before you know it, those results will start rolling in. Those muscles practically pack on themselves. And now, a word from our science team.
Trenbolone is a highly potent synthetic androgen belonging to the nandrolone family. First synthesized in 1963 by the French pharmaceutical company Roussel-Uclaf, initially developed for veterinary applications. It was introduced under the brand Finaplex and Revelor in the 1980s. It was primarily used in cattle to enhance muscle growth, feed efficiency, and nitrogen retention. Unlike other anabolic steroids, Trenbolone is known for its exceptionally high anabolic to androgenic ratio, making it one of the most powerful anabolic agents ever studied. Its structural modifications prevent it from being converted into estrogen via aromatization, allowing for significant muscle gain without the typical estrogenic side effects associated with other anabolic steroids, such as water retention and fat gain. Although originally designed for veterinary purposes, Trenbolone's impressive anabolic properties have made it a subject of interest in human muscle physiology and endocrinology. Like testosterone, first isolated in 1935, and estradiol, or estrogen, discovered in 1929, Trenbolone plays a crucial role in promoting skeletal muscle growth. Its effects are primarily mediated through androgen receptors, where it enhances protein synthesis and nitrogen retention, leading to increased muscle hypertrophy or an increase in cell size. The use of performance-enhancing substances in bodybuilding is a well-known and long-standing issue. Bodybuilding is a sport that involves the rigorous training and development of the body's muscles through a combination of weightlifting, cardio, and nutrition. While it has been around for centuries, it gained popularity as a competitive sport in the 20th century, with the first Mr. Olympia contest in 1965. Since then, bodybuilding has become a global phenomenon with millions of enthusiasts and a billion-dollar industry. One of the most controversial aspects of bodybuilding is using performance-enhancing substances, PES, including anabolic androgenic steroids, human growth hormone, insulin, diuretics, stimulants, and others. Athletes use these substances to increase muscle mass, improve strength and endurance, and enhance their physical appearance. While PES is not unique to bodybuilding, it is more prevalent in this sport than in most others. Further studies are necessary to fully elucidate Trenbolone's molecular pathways, physiological effects, and potential applications beyond its original veterinary use. As researchers continue to explore the connections between anabolic hormones, polyamine biosynthesis, and muscle growth, Tren continues to serve as a valuable model for studying mechanisms of anabolic regulation. A deeper understanding of its function may not only refine our knowledge of androgenic activity, but also contribute to the development of safer and more effective alternatives for promoting muscle hypertrophy in both medical and athletic settings.
In the body, Trenbolone acetate serves as a testosterone agonist acting on androgen receptors. These androgen receptors are fairly ubiquitous, but also tend to be highly expressed in muscle cells. They are intracellular, ligand-activated transcription factors, meaning that they have one domain involved in ligand binding and another domain involved in DNA binding to initiate those transcriptional changes. Trenbolone, a synthetic testosterone analog, has a typical steroid structure consisting of the 3 6-membered rings fused with a 5-membered ring. It is very lipophilic and acts similarly to other endogenous steroid hormones. It's also carried through the blood through carrier proteins until it reaches target tissues, bypassing cell membranes to fuse with cytoplasmic androgen receptors, which are also the same ones that bind testosterone and dihydrotestosterone, DHT. Satellite cells, which are a type of skeletal muscle progenitor stem cell, as well as the nuclei of muscle cells, tend to serve as the primary destination for many androgens, since these are the primary sites of androgen receptor expression in humans. In terms of muscle groups, androgen receptors tend to be localized in higher amounts near the shoulders, neck, and chest, specifically the deltoid, the trapezius, and the pectoral muscles, and to a lesser degree, the limbs and extremities. That's why you'll notice a lot of enhanced bodybuilders in bodybuilding shows with very, very like overdeveloped and bulbous looking, like shoulders and traps. As these satellite cells become activated then by the androgen receptor ligand binding, they'll begin proliferating and differentiating into new muscle cells, which then can fuse into existing muscle cells as more nuclei. The addition of more nuclei can also help generate more protein products in the cell, allowing the muscle fiber to basically build itself up in size and do more work, or in other words, hypertrophy. On top of that, there's also a little bit of work that shows that motor neurons also express androgen receptors, which also could contribute to hypertrophy as well.
So now I'm going to explain how anabolic steroids, specifically Trenbolone, cause their side effects at the molecular level. First, Trenbolone binds strongly to androgen receptors in muscle and bone tissue, enhancing protein synthesis and nitrogen retention, which leads to rapid muscle growth. However, it also interacts with ARs in other tissues, leading to unwanted side effects. One major issue is suppression of natural testosterone production. Trenbolone, like other anabolic steroids, provides an external androgen source, which signals the hypothalamus and pituitary gland to decrease luteinizing hormone and follicle-stimulating hormone production. This leads to testicular atrophy and long-term suppression of natural testosterone, which can cause infertility and sexual dysfunction. Next, unlike testosterone, Trenbolone does not aromatize into estrogen, but it still affects the estrogen receptor and increases progesterone activity, leading to male breast tissue development. This happens because progesterone can upregulate prolactin, which can stimulate breast tissue growth despite low estrogen levels. Another significant side effect is cardiovascular damage. Trenbolone reduces high-density lipoprotein and increases low-density lipoprotein. This leads to increasing risk of heart attacks and strokes. Additionally, it raises blood pressure by promoting water retention and increases red blood cell counts, making the blood thicker and harder to pump. Trenbolone also affects the brain by altering neurotransmitter levels, especially dopamine and serotonin. It can lead to aggression, anxiety, mood swings, and even depression. These neurological effects occur because androgenic compounds can dysregulate the limbic system, which controls emotions. In summary, while Trenbolone and other anabolic steroids enhances muscle growth, their strong and androgenic activity leads to several hormonal imbalances, cardiovascular issues, and neurochemical disruptions. These side effects explain why the use of Trenbolone is illegal in human medicine and why long-term users often face irreversible health complications.
Other side effects may include severe body and facial acne, oily skin, body hair growth, baldness, vocal deepening, increased libido, hypertension, heart attack, liver toxicity, kidney damage, testicular shrinkage, infertility, loss of reproductive structures, mood swings, anxiety, depression, brain damage, memory loss, sleep disturbances, insomnia, coughing, infection, sepsis, insulin insensitivity, immunosuppression, muscle tears, tendon tears, ligament tears, cancer, heart failure, and death. Ask your doctor if Trenbolone acetate is right for you.